Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Curse Entertainment presentation bringing you guys a game between Evil Geniuses and RoX.KIS. That's a radical online extremist conspiracy internet securities. But these two teams are in the lower bracket of the Curse Invitational. This is going to be a best of 3 series to see who is going to be moving on forward in that regard. So, interesting matches thus far, seeing RoX play really well against Empire, take them down, I believe, 2-0. And now going up against EG, we'll see which one is going to come out on top. I myself am Blaze, and I am joined by Merlini. How's it going, man?
Yeah, good morning, Blaze. How's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good.
And we haven't seen EG too much recently. I didn't see them play yesterday, but they are, I think, the heavy favorites going into the TI3 Western qualifiers, which are scheduled to start tomorrow and go on the whole entire week.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So they have a lot of the work cut out for them. On kind of seeing this not just as like an opportunity to get some really awesome cows, because of course the Curse Invitational has a really awesome prize pool for a 3-weekend tournament, but along with that, a nice opportunity to practice it up, because both of them are going to be in those qualifiers, and obviously that is going to be the big deal. If they can get into a first or second position in that and move on to Seattle, that is going to be pretty much going to make any one of those teams' years. So that's going to be a really big deal for them. But we'll have to see. They do have very different styles. ROX, they have a very aggressive, but very European style as far as kind of controlling the lanes and going for gank order to play. Evil Geniuses, how would you define their playstyle?
I seen them just use Magnus a lot, and they seem a little bit more farmy oriented. The times I've seen Jo play carry, I think he's gone Midas a lot, and that just tends to be more passive games. We saw him play Weaver a couple times more recently, as well as a faceless Void pickup. So they tend to usually have a heavy carry, not so passive like Mouse, but not nearly as aggressive as some of the Western teams. We saw RoX.KIS use Gyrocopter exceptionally well yesterday, often picking him up first, but with EO slipping through, looks like he will be the first pick for RoX.KIS.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. The pickup there allows a very substantial global presence to come on out. It allows them to start initiating at pretty much any range that they desire as soon as the Wisp hits level 6. So what they're going to be looking there is making sure that their defensive tri-lane, which is pretty much where you're always going to go when you have an IO, is going to be secure. Make sure that the neutral poles can be claimed by the Wisp to get that kind of independent experience source, and from there they can actually start ganking once he hits level 6. So that's going to be some high presence, but Evil Geniuses drafting up strong themselves. They do have the potential to recall in for a little bit of kind of pseudo-global presence themselves, as well the Bat Rider has some great range of initiation once he gets that Blink Dagger up. So both very substantial forces to be reckoned with, and they have kind of secured a little bit as far as their mid and their safe lane, but they do let the CK slip through, and that means that CK and IO are going to go and be that ganking spree team.
Yeah, and we just saw BZZ play Gyro like just exceptionally well. So I'm glad that Evil Geniuses has this targeted ban out in the form of Gyrocopter in the first phase. A little bit unusual for teams to do that, but I think it's a smart move by EG. And then we see Darkseer as the third pick for RoX.KIS. So all around solid lineup so far. I am a little worried for their EO-CK lane. They don't really have a CK or a Nyx to worry about, which is one of the primary carries that you're worried about when you're triple laning, but more likely than not, they're going to have to defensive triple lane, especially with the Keeper of the Light. Keeper of the Light just makes your triple lane increasingly difficult to win, and I expect them to pair him up with another support hero and probably a hero that you can play in the aggressive triple lane, because that is most teams' response to Wisp. Okay, if you want to try and get that early 6, we will try our best to not make that happen and take advantage of Wisp extreme amounts of weakness in lane and just score a couple kills early and let that XP and gold advantage hopefully carry us into the mid game, where EO just does make a huge presence all around the map.
Yeah. It's going to be difficult, though. Of course, Chaos Knight has quite a bit of presence himself, as long as he does have the mana to support it, and then they can follow it up with maybe like a Leshrac or something like that. So even though they probably want to put pressure out, Evil Geniuses definitely wants to try to go for that aggressive tri-lane, it's not going to be the easiest thing in the world, because CK himself is always going to have a high amount of threat presence. So that'll be pretty interesting. The Rubik does come on board. Kind of hit or miss in my opinion on this one here. Comparing that to like the Shadow Demon option, I'm not sure. I like the disruption against Chaos Bolt a lot, is the kind of mindset that I have there. But I mean, still, it's going to be a powerful pick. You're going to get some steals off like the Chaos Bolt, the Vacuum. Those kinds of things will be very powerful. But it's really all about about timing and using that Rubik to its fullest if you're going to make that pick worth it.
And Telekinesis is pretty good. I think Disruption is a better setup spell, especially with Soul Catcher, but Rubik, just teams seem a lot more comfortable with using Rubik, and that Null Field is one of his most underrated spells. Although there is a heavy amount of magic damage coming out from RoX.KIS, we may see that Null Field just be extremely useful versus those last two heroes. So we see a PL ban from RoX.KIS. They do not want to play the farming game versus PL, especially with the Keeper of the Light on the side of Evil Geniuses, so very smart ban by them. And we see a Juggernaut ban, potentially, I guess, to... I mean, they can't really run a push strat right now with Jug and, let's say, Chen, as we saw a team run yesterday. So I'm not too scared of the push strat, but again, they don't have too much AoE. EO and Chaos Knight are not the best at stopping pushes, especially very early on into the game. And Evil Geniuses will take out Puck and Nature's Prophet as their second ban.
Yeah. The big thing about how CKIO combo make you play is that it's all about pickoffs, all about finding people by themselves. So the natural response is to be going as 5, just to group up together. And when you're together, you might as well push. You're either smoke ganking or you're pushing. And so the Juggernaut, the Luna, those could be high threat. The Phantom Lancer more so just because you can scale so hard into the late game and shut down a CK comparatively speaking. So that's going to be that kind of a threat. But yeah, really just making sure that they don't have to worry about too much aggression from the... I mean, at least they'll burn down the creep wave with the Illuminate Fade Bolt. So the Juggernaut could have allowed them to actually start taking towers, and that's something that RX couldn't handle in the earlier stages of the game, before Darkseer gets his rank 3 vacuum plus Wall of Replica, and before, of course, the IO is able to relocate into the engagements. So taking out that a little bit. And on top of that, Evil Geniuses is a little bit afraid of ROX enhancing their range of initiation, going with the Nature's Prophet global teleport or the Puck once he gets his blink or orb. It's just going to be that kind of thing where he can always jump in and cause a lot of havoc, and that's something they don't want to deal with right now.
And on top of the push potential from Juggernaut, we do see the potential for just spin TPing out, and that is a lot. That's really difficult to deal with. If you can't ever gank their carry, as CK was, that could pose a pretty big problem. And there are still a couple of carries left that can still escape it. We have Faceless Void with a Time Walk and Anti-Mage with Blink. Those are all very, very reliable ways to escape the relocate ganks. So 2 of those 4, I think, main escape carries are already banned out. And I expect Evil Geniuses to take one of those 2 if they want to play the farm war, and instead go safe lane triple lane versus RoX.KIS's safe lane triple lane.
This would be interesting. One thing to be really worried about is the Queen of Pain roaming early on. Compared to the Bat Rider, I mean, the Bat Rider could move around at level 6, but with only like regular boots of speed, you're not going to be too scared of his potential. Whereas the Queen of Pain, she's more mobile, she's more active, and around level 7, 8, or 9, she could easily be making an impact on a tri-lane versus tri-lane, just turning things around very, very extensively. So they do go with the Clockwork Goblin. It's going to go for some good potential to pick individuals off, but I honestly don't feel that this is the best team to go for that kind of a selection there. The Chaos Knight in general is going to be very, very tanky. He's going to be able to survive on through most of those quick little pickoffs. IO has his own tether that will allow him to get outside the cogs, and then Darkseer, again, durable, Queen of Pain having the blink. There are a lot of heroes that Clockwork shuts down. In this case, it's an all-around good pick, but I don't think it's particularly amazing against ROX's lineup.
Yeah, it will be good for separating RoX.KIS if they get a nice Blink Lasso initiate. It will be very, very useful for just splitting their team up and just making that fight a 4v5 to begin with. They will have to blow a couple of ultimates, but it will be worth it. And we see AA, very unusual pick, and CKAA used to be a really strong dual lane in itself, and I fully expect them to run a CKEO Ancient Apparition triple lane, and that is going to be a lot of disable, and I don't think that Clockwork can actually stand against this triple lane. He can do decently versus a lot of triple lanes, but I don't think he'll be able to stand this one. He'll just have to play very, very passively. And we see Shadow Demon again slip by. I feel like it would have been good for either teams. For example, if Bat tries to initiate with Blink Lasso, you can just Shadow Demon the whoever gets focused, the victim of Flaming Lasso, or just Bat Rider himself. You can purge him to try and mitigate the distance that he's separated away from your team. And I think he's just a really good pick overall. But looks like both teams will forego it unless we see him taken up by his last pick by Evil Geniuses.
They're definitely they're gonna go with the AM. That's a pretty solid pick. I really do like the Ancient Apparition in this situation though. Compared to like a Shadow Demon, just the lineup that you already have that Chaos Bolt to connect with them and start doing damage. You just need a little bit of follow up there, and AA certainly provides that. So when Chaos Knight first came into Dota 2, the three big supports that he loved to lane with was the Leshrac, the Ancient Apparition, and the Lich. And Lich, of course, has fallen vastly out of favor, but we still see a little bit of the other two. And specifically, I love how Ancient Apparition plays into this here because not only does he get some cold feet stun in lane, but when it comes down to that global presence, when IO go to like a ganking across the entire map, Ancient Apparition can support long range with that Ice Blast. Give them the buff, attack damage buff, before they leave, and then send out that ultimate to make sure that it connects when they get to their destination. So there is a lot of potential for coordination there that could screw over a lot of individuals, but also Evil Geniuses predicting a little bit of that and drafting against it. You're talking about that null field, and as underrated as it may be, it's going to be very effective here against the Quap, against the Ancient Apparition and Darkseer, and on top of that, the Anti-Mage's Spell Shield. I mean, you combine null field and Spell Shield together, Anti-Mage could care less about that magic damage.
Yeah, and he might even pick up a BKB just so he doesn't get stun locked, and they won't have too much in the way of physical damage. Sure, you have Phantasm, but you won't be able to Reality Rift him during that. But this all depends on AM getting a lot of farm. But it looks like they actually are going aggressive triple lane. This is very unusual for teams to run an aggressive triple lane with the EO. But on the side of RoX.KIS, we have BZZ, the captain and drafter on the Chaos Knight, Dread on the most likely solo Darkseer, Solo on the Queen of Pain, Banscore on the support Ancient Apparition, and Yol on the EO.
Then looking over at EG, we do have Bambo running that solo Clockwork. Demon is going to be picking up, I believe, the mid Bat Rider. And that would leave Jo on the farming Anti-Mage, B-Diz supporting up on the Keep of the Light. And then we do have Rubik picked up by Fear. We do see Initiation, though. BZZ is perfect, is lifted up. There's going to be Cogs right in the mix of things, though. Really good Cogs come out from Bambo, forcing them back. They're separated out. The napalm sacks are coming on through. They just don't want a piece of this. So there is that damage that they just couldn't deal with. I'm not sure if you were talking about this before as an aggressive tri lane. I don't feel that RoX.KIS have the best try versus try situation because that IO contributes so little until like at least level 3, if not until like level 5 and 6. So I would much prefer just seeing Dread on the off lane and have them go defensive try. But as you said, their positioning might indicate otherwise.
Yeah, and again, AM is just one of those few carries that will be able to skip the relocate gank, so they do not want to deal with that mid-game and just trying to shut him down early, so even if they are unable to gank him, hopefully he'll still be crippled from the weak early game and unable to make a big impact in that latter half of the game. Looks like Vides will be able to destroy the Observer War, so very important for these support heroes to get experience, and they do have the safe lane, they do have Key to the Light. I expect EG to win this triple lane.
Yeah, honestly, in this position, I mean, they are setting up decent 1v1 situations. If Solo picks up a magic stick, he'll be alright versus the Bat Rider. Right now taking a lot of harassment damage, though. Is going to take 3 right clicks here, and yeah, Solo is just very gradually turning around, taking a lot of right clicks here, so that's like half his HP almost. It's just kind of the damage that you should not expect to take at this stage, and he's going in. He's popping the Firefly. If he hit level 2, he has 7 stacks up, and Solo's going to have to blink away immediately, so Demon forces that back, but he doesn't unfortunately get any more damage on top of that, or maybe he will. That blinks on cooldown, 6 seconds, Demon running over top. That is 9 charges of the napalm. The right click is there, but he's going to have the salve and the blink up, and he's just going to be able to fall back. Either way, good harassment from Demon, forcing him off the creep wave as it dies under the tower, so an experience gain there, and of course a lot of lane control.
10 stacks on Solo right now. Okay, they finally fell off. I remember I was casting with Toby once. He's like, yeah, when you get 5 stacks, you just start to back. And everyone was just like, what? 5 stacks? I think the general rule of thumb is 3 stacks to back, although you can afford to play a little bit more aggressively if you have the blink on Queen of Pain. But I don't think I've ever seen anyone get 10 stacks. But managing to live to fight another day, although he did burn most of his regen, 1 flask and 2 tangos. Only 1 tangos left and still quite a bit away from his bottle.
So that's going to limit him quite a bit. He could already start off with a Null Talisman for last taking advantage, and the fact that he lost that early experience and he has burned through his regen, it means that Bat Rider is going to have kind of his control of the lane for quite some time. With Queen Pain only sitting at 250, Solo has a difficult choice. Does he just go for the magic? Actually, he does. He goes for Magic Stick. He's going to bottle that, Quarry that up, and his bottle is very delayed. We're talking maybe 4-minute rune.
Yeah, I'm just really surprised that he didn't pick up a magic stick from the start. Yeah. This is usually what we see, especially since he got pulled. He got pulled a lot. He got pulled a Tango and a salve. But regardless, we see Dread trying to make use of the creep pool, being the safe lane Darkseer that he is, and he has the potential to abuse Island Shell like that, but Bambo was able to sneak a couple of rockets in, so he should be doing pretty well in the way of experience there.
Oh, Demon in mid, taking a lot of damage here. Souls already used his blink, but the slow, the right clicks, there's the salve. Is it going to be enough damage? The ticks will go, but he got his bottle, he has the tangos, and he's going to be perfectly fine here.
Oof. Yeah, looks like he was in desperate danger there, dropping down to around 40 HP.
Very close indeed, but now that he has the bottle, he has a severe advantage over Solo. So very, very close call, but he just crows that up immediately. Like, they have the flying courier in motion, and it is already restoring his bottle as we speak. So that is going to set him up where he's going to be able to control this lane very, very effectively. And Solo really doesn't have much to answer for it, surprisingly, considering he went for this second point in Shadow Strike to try to control the lane better. Like, that's a 1 versus 1 build, is the second point in Shadow Strike, and right now he's just falling behind.
And Queen of Pain just hasn't seen that much use recently, although she is a very good matchup versus Batrider, one of the few heroes that can stand in lane versus him. In terms of last sets of the nights, we see CK on top with 18, Sexy Bambo on the Clockwork in second place with 16, and Darkseer and Queen of Pain falling behind on the last hits. And Demon actually only has 5 in middle, so he has been trying to keep a lot of pressure up on Solo and almost scoring a kill, but paying heavily in the way of CS.
Yeah, a lot of resources. As far as experience per minute, we do see that Queen of Pain is actually overcoming right now, so that's kind of surprising as well. We do see pressure coming out on the top lane. There is Chilling Touch and Tether active. The Spirit's giving vision. The Chaos Bolt will connect. Keeper Light going to take a lot of hits here. 3 second stun guarantees the first blood here. Nice damage coming out. Now switching over to Joe. He's standing, delivering a little bit, has that 4-main shield to tank up a bit, but he really, really can't stand too long. Oh, actually, Yol is in a really, really bad spot. The salve will get canceled with one right-click. Jo trying to close the distance, but just can't. With that tether giving too much movement speed. B-Diz back in the action. Gonna go for an Illuminate in a moment. Nice flame break coming in from Demon. He keeps the napalm going, and Yol should be dropped down. Blink is not going to be up for 5 seconds here, but Yol has to tether perfectly. No! Right into the Illuminate. Good positioning from B-Diz. Cuts him off completely, and he can't get out.
Oh, Solo almost getting that kill on that Kupu the Metamorpher, but just escaping with 1 hit. He was looking for a cleanup kill, but unable to score it, especially with these 2 Observer Wards on the side of EG.
Close, though. That would have been really, really good to limit the Batrider. He actually has his bottle in the courier now. He's going to keep that flowing. But yeah, the one issue is he isn't getting that much CS. He's not going to find even boots of speed for some time. So his blink is going to be delayed. And of course, blink on Queen of Pain is natural. So she's going to have the initiation potential outright. So in this position, yes, it felt like Demon was really winning out the lane as far as forcing Queen of Pain back. But now we see, as far as experience goes, that Queen of Pain is far ahead. And as far as last hits, the same.
Yeah, and he really does need that early blink dagger. First off, you need a verse CK whips in case they try and gank you, and secondly, you just really need that as a source of initiation. I mean, Clockwork Initiate is nice, but again, as you said, they have the blink to get out of it, they have the tether stun, and again, you don't really want to go on CK. He can just pull someone in there with them with the Reality Rift and set that up for a double Ice Blast from the AA, so I mean, he doesn't have that great target as a hookshot. It's mostly going to be, I expect it mostly to be used near the end of the fight, and Lasso to be used very early, but we will see. And if he doesn't get that blink, it's mostly going to be up on Bambo to initiate these fights.
Yeah, a lot of potential for follow-through, but we'll see. Right now, Bottle is up on IO, so they can kind of stay in the midst of an engagement for a lot longer using 3 bottle charges, even in between damage sources, can keep you and whoever you're tethered up to for sustained for a long enough time to be relevant. BZ is going to cop a bit of damage from the Illuminate, though. Good kind of flanking perspective from B-Diz, and yeah, with his rank 2 Chakra Magic, he can continue to spam that out. He doesn't have to worry about the mana of any of his allies. Like, he doesn't have to worry about Anti-Mages or Rubik's mana, so I'm kind of surprised that he even bothered with the second point of Chakra for here, but it just allows him to spam, 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 and we're seeing it at work as IO takes a huge amount of damage and is going to have to use his full bottle right here.
Yeah, and they've just been making very, very good use of this creep pool. The experience graph is still in favor of RoX.KIS. Oh, on bottom lane. I don't know if there's any action going on, but looks like they're just contesting the creep pools.
Bambo's been very, very active in this lane. He picked up a double damager in bottom just recently, so that helps him out a bit, but really, he's been all about these cogs continuously draining the Darkseer so that all he can do is Soul Ring for his mana, and along with that, he's just been contesting the pulls, being very, very active. And that's giving him something, but we do see initiation on Jo. 1 second stun's not going to be enough, is it? Oh, just barely getting out. If he just rolled a little bit higher, the blink wouldn't have been available in time, but that 1 second stun unfortunately means that Anti-Mage gets out scot-free, and that's the chaotic nature of Chaos Knight.
Yeah, RNGG right there, and even with that Chilling Touch is very, very strong early game, adding, what, 60 damage for 4 attacks. That is huge, especially in a triple lane, and is one of the most underrated skills on Ancient Apparition. Received a buff a couple months ago, but still, AA just never really seen, even with some wombo combos with the potential for wombo combos with Enigma and Reverse Polarity, we still don't see him ever used, so I'm glad to see this rather unusual pickup from RoX.KIS.
Yeah. But you have one thing to keep in mind is that Anti-Mage does have a built-in 44% magical resistance with only 1 point of spell shields. That's a pretty ridiculous amount of reduction that, yes, the Chilling Touch is amazing, but up against Jo, it's probably the worst target on the board.
And we see a ping come out. They do spot this rotation from Solo. He is trying to rotate bottom and get a kill on Sexy Bamboo, who doesn't have any bottle charges up right now.
Dangerous position for him. Like, literally, Solo could just ulti him and scream him or slow him and ulti him. And there we go. Scream comes out. One more right click. All they need to finish him off. And yes, Solo's going to take some damage from the tower, but just immediately TPing away. So good movement there. Gets the kill. And we do see, of course, haste picked up by Demon. But yeah, the big timing is bringing down the Clockwork and getting some really good experience on the Queen of Pain. She's jumped up to level 8, and she's going to get another one very, very quickly. Now moving on to Haste Active Firefly as well. Dread is going to be able to surge away. That's rank 2 surge, but there is a flying vision. He sees it through the trees. He can go for the Napalm. He can go for the lasso, and he should be able to lock him down here, pulling him down through the trees. Again, surge up in 2 seconds. Will it be fast enough? There's a flame break. There's a right clicks. It should be the kill. And they do bring down Dread in turn. So both off-lane or solo players are being dropped down here, and that's going to help out the mids a lot in moving in towards their big mid-game items. We do see on top, pretty close at hand, there is going to be an Illuminate coming out onto multiple heroes, but that's an opportunity to go for possibly a Chaos Bolt. But unfortunately, they didn't actually see it in time. There's Solo, jumping in with the Scream. There's the right clicks. There's Jail. 3 seconds stun. It should be enough. Is it? Right clicks are coming on through. He's going to blink away. No. Doesn't get the chance. Bamboo in the mix of things. Barrage coming on through. He's going to be able to cloak down bottom, but misses, unfortunately. They are only going to be able to bring down the IO, and that's a lot less than they were expecting when the Anti-Mage is at stake there.
Yeah, and RoX.KIS in no fighting shape right now. There is a rocket. Is it going to find anyone? Ooh, pretty close. But no cigar there, and getting a very high priority target kill on Anti-Mage. He looks like he's not in any good shape for his Battle Fury right now. He only has his Ring of Health and forcing to go a lot of defensive items in the form of boots, in the form of Magic Stick, in the form of Poor Man Shield, so we can expect that Battle Fury, if he does decide to rush it, to be very, very delayed.
Yeah, and that's going to be a very limiting factor for him because he needs to kind of have that gold advantage. Right now, CK, BCC is perfect. It's not really a hard farming carry. He's a hard ganking carry, especially when IO comes online with his ultimate. So right now, just trying to find opportunities to get a little bit of farm here and there and mostly focus on pressuring. And we see kind of that result taking place with Anti-Mage being so limited here. Every single time they focus him down, and although they missed the kill once, they've in general been forcing him back over and over, and it's just too much for him to deal with right now. So he will get farmed up, he will be able to survive later, but at least for the moment, it's a bit of a rough patch for him.
And looks like Wisp will be 6 relatively soon. He is almost level 5, 398 out of 500 experience, about on par with these with Beat on Keep It Light, but we see Fear already hit level 6. He doesn't have a spell in his arsenal yet, but very nice play by him and use of this pool camp to get that early level 6 so desperately needed on a support hero like Rubik.
Yeah, so that could be a really high potential. As far as steals, what would you value the most? Obviously, the Wisp spells are kind of lackluster. There's, of course, the Queen of Pain, Sonic Wave, the Chaos Bolt. What would be the thing that he needs to focus on trying to acquire in the team fights?
Sonic Wave, I would say Sonic Wave, Vacuum, Chaos Bolt, or Ice Blast are the really, really good spells to steal for him. And if you can vacuum him into a cog, that would just be huge. If you get a huge Sonic Wave on Wisp and burst him down, that would also be amazing. Again, if you cast Ice Blast and lead that up with a Telekinesis, that would just be almost instant death with one hero, especially since they usually rely on Wisp heal to keep someone alive. And I think there's pretty good ones. No really, really devastating ones like RP or Ravage, but still pretty big spells to steal for him.
Yeah, exactly. So at this stage, of course, the later the game goes on, I think, although you would generally consider Anti-Mage kind of a mid-game carry, I would say that he has more late-game scalability comparatively than the Chaos Knight, unless the Phantasms are like have 100% uptime. If they do stay on target constantly, he does have more potential theoretically, but for right now, I think Anti-Mage will be able to put out quite a bit more.
Yeah, I am just scared for his farm there. I mean, RoX.KIS has not left the top lane yet, and CK Wiz have been constantly trying to apply pressure on him. Looking at his CS, he has 22 right now, which is about 2/3 of what CK has at 34. But again, he's very, very poor. He has died once, and unless they start leaving soon, they're just not gonna they're just not gonna stop the pressure on him.
Yeah.
And how is he gonna find farm? I mean, sure, they have Keeper Light and they're like pulling constantly, but the supports are almost getting more farm than Jo at this point.
Yeah, I think a big factor will be the rotations for the Clockwork, always having a TP scroll, being ready to go up and just go for a hookshot cogs. A good placement could really, really change how the top lane plays itself out if the Clockwork gets involved, and that's where they need to be out in their whole mindset, because they need to be playing responsibly, because otherwise this CK and IO, whether it's just the domination on the top lane or across the entire map, it's going to be very, very scary when Wisp and CK come out to play.
And EG is just very forced to play defensively. These supports unable to rotate. We do see a TPM from Bambo, invisible.
Yeah, could be really good for them. The Spirits will come on out. They're going to look for a Reality Rift, but unfortunately, BZZ not going to be in range just yet. And now Clockwork looking for an opportunity. Will be hit by Spirit, though. They know he's here. He pops off the cogs immediately. Going to trap them both in. Big battery assault. Going to pop the ultimate, but the 4-second stun locking him in. It's still enough damage. They're going to be able to bring down the Wisp, but that Sonic Wave doing huge damage in return. Bring down the Clockwork, but Jo survives. Spell Shield at work, but here comes that Bat Rider. Unfortunately, no Blink, so he cannot close the distance. Going to go for the Flame Break. Very, very ambitious, but he's not going to be able to actually close the distance with it. So either way, it looks like it is a 2-for-1. They committed the Queen of Pain's ultimate, so that's off the table at least for a little bit here. And they've kept the anti-mage alive, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that Fear went for a second steal. He had Chaos Bullet in his arsenal, and that's just a ridiculously strong spell, especially combined with that almost 2-second disable from Telekinesis. But he opted to steal from Queen of Pain, maybe hoping for Blink for better initiate, but he did get Scream of Pain.
Okay, so there was no chance for him to get Sonic Wave. I didn't actually catch the timing of it.
I mean, I think I'm not exactly sure when he used his first spell steal, but I think he was trying to get Sonic Wave or Blink. But again, Sonic Wave is not the best spell for Rubik, especially since you have to just move in really close. You really don't want to be they go on Jo, but no tether stun.
So not an opportunity there, and honestly, he's getting a little more tanky now. As long as he runs Strength Treads when he's trying to be cautious, he's overall going to be having an okay time just farming away and staying alive. And now that he has the Strength Treads, that +8 is enough, in my opinion, to keep him over the threshold until that ultimate comes out, until the Ice Blast is actually in play. So we'll have to see. More rotations for Clockwork, as I mentioned before, is going to be a key thing here, especially when the Creep Wave is in this position. Because Solo right now, he should be punished for his positioning, but he's going in. They scream each other. Chaos Bolt, 3 seconds coming out on Rubik, but there's the lift coming in. They actually recall the TP Bambo. Either way, he's looking for a vector to get the hookshot. Creeps are in the way, but as soon as he goes south, this is his opportunity. So knowing this, the CK just keeps on going east, trying to go as far out as possible. And here comes the relocate coming on in. They're going to go in on top of Bambo. They're going to be able to bring him down inside the cogs. Flame break out. Great move by Demon. There's the lasso as well. Saving Bambo. Going to bring down CK. Beautiful play there. And now Yol will be sent out with the rubber banding effect of that relocate. But now Solo take a lot of hits, and the last right click will be enough to bring him down. Beautiful counter initiation. EG take this one away. Killing spree for Demon.
Yeah, very nice flame breaks, 2 in a row by Bat there. And EO was TPing in there, but just a little bit too late. And Demon already has his Blink Dagger. So we talked a little about how he was liking on CS, but picking it right up and just making very good use of it. I think that they were a little bit overcommitted there. They had 3 heroes there, and the Wisp TP'd in, but still it was only 4 there for the majority of the fight in this like really dangerous area in the top part close to their creep pool spawn. I don't think that's the best positioning for them, especially with not that much farm coming in the way of CK. Only Treads and Bracer at this point, and still pretty far away from his drums.
Yeah. This is going to be looking bad for RoX.KIS if they don't start getting some momentum. Right now, the Ancient Apparition is still hitting at level 5.5, and that's the worst place to be as an A. It happens all the time, but essentially you try to go and you try to be a big player in the engagements, but if you don't stay far enough back, you're going to be sitting at level 4, level 5 for a very long time, and all you need is to get that Ice Blast, and then you can just be... half your benefit you could be in Fountain and still provide. So it's really, it comes down to getting that ultimate so that you don't have to worry about your positioning as much, and that's going to be something that he just has to...
Bambo's getting recalled on top.
That's going to be big. They have the opportunity to hookshot once more, going on in, canceling it out, looking for their opportunity onto the CK, onto anybody. They get the Rocket Flare for some vision. They have the Observer Ward, actually, so just trying to make sure nobody's hiding in the trees before they go on in. And they actually could go on this, but of course it is 5v5, so they have to have the right vector going on in. Sonic Wave immediately incinerating the Anti-Mage with a 4-second Chaos Bolt. Now popping on in. Bambo is on a terrible spot. Too much damage. There's the Urn. There's the Cold Feet. He is going to drop down, and Solo's on the run. There's the Surge. He's going to be able to blink and scream on down. Reality Rift, Tether Stun, going in for Fear. They won't be able to pick him off. but everybody else has fallen extremely quickly. So unfortunately, Demon was just not able to actually get in where he wanted to. The anti-mage got picked off so very quickly, and from there, the team fight just fell apart.
Yeah, a little bit of hesitation from Bambo. He waited for the hook shot, and he actually hit his own teammate with it. So unable to find that initiation, especially without Demon being there, just really cost them. And with TPing it or tethering into that position right outside of the T1, put them in a very, very good position.
Oh, Solo's dead, by the way. They did get the Chaos Bolt stolen from Fear. He locked that down so they could set up Demon. There's going to be an Ice Blast, but Demon should TP away. Fear going to go on the run. Pretty slow, but there's nobody to really contest him. It looks like they want to try, though. Yol doesn't have relocate, so they're going to go for the run, hoping that he'll go on to the north, but we do see him making his way to the east. They're only going to find out Beatas, but that still might be a kill. Going for the Outer Rift, there is going to be that damage. Spirits and the Chaos Bolt just doing too much there.
So they're finding a lot of kills, but AM is still getting his farm on. He is 3 and 2, 10 Majestic charges. It might look like a 21 minute Battle Fury if he keeps this up without dying, but that's always very, very difficult versus a Chaos Knight Wisp. So they're actually picking up the kills that they need to, playing aggressively still. The kill score only 8 to 8, 16 minutes, and a little bit less action than I expected. But again, EG is forced to play this defensive playstyle with this anti-mage for the majority of the game.
Now, a pickup of an Ogre Club on the IO. I guess that means, of course, the Darkseer is going for the Mechism, already has it, and IO is not, but is he going for like a Heaven's Halberd?
I think that's the case, and I'm surprised to see that. Usually we see like a Soul Ring Tranquil into a mech, of course, but if Darkseer has a mech, then maybe you go Pipe on EO, but I think it's better for Darkseer to get the Pipe and for EO to get the mech just because of that tether double heal with the mech, but looks like he will pop a regeneration rune, and looks like they are smoked as for looking for blood, and there are only 2 heroes at top. They do have this observer ward over here, so they will know that BZZ and Yol are over here.
Probably the best thing that Yol can do right now is just relocate BZZ out and just bite the bullet himself. He's going to try to avoid it. There's a tether. Oh, the lasso simultaneous stops him in his tracks. They do get the Chaos Knight out. They're actually sending Sonic Wave the other way. Bambo's going to get dropped down here with a couple right clicks. Nice blinding light. He's still alive. The Cogs. He's actually going to dodge out the Ice Blast. Bottling on up. He's still alive. Big vacuum into the wall. Replica pull back with the Chaos Knight. Getting the stun on Demon. There's going to be almost a pickup on Dread. They get the kill. Bambo's still up here. He's still alive and kicking. Jo doing the right clicks. Trying to finish off the Queen of Pain. Gets the Cogs out. BZZ can't close the distance. Instead, just reality. The stun. He brings down Beatas, but he will fall himself. Just a moment. One blink, one right click, and that's enough. And a 4-second Chaos Bolt on AA to most likely finish him as well. Oh my goodness, what a fight. Relocate coming on in, but Yol won't be able to pick off Jo all by himself. That was ridiculous how that played out. Bambo on such low life, but it was the blinding light of Beatas. They missed so many times, so many fatal blows, completely avoided, and he was able to bottle up, Cogs out, and survive long enough to make an impact on the fight. They were chasing him in a corner, and they just couldn't close on in, and EG take this away.
Yeah, Vanscore looked like he was going to have a huge AA ultimate, but he shot it, and if you look on the map, he like shot it over here, way above the secret shop. I'm not exactly sure whether he was lagging or whether he was stunned, and I was looking for that 3 to 4 man ice spot that would have completely changed the fight and killed Bambo on the spot, but unable to land that. RoX.KIS suffered heavy casualties. I believe that was a 4 for 2, maybe 4 for 3 in favor of EG right there.
Yeah, that Ice Splash would have been the game changer, but unfortunately, yeah, he just didn't pop it off early enough, and the trail itself didn't hit on anybody there, so the debuff not provided. And yeah, that was unfortunate. Good initiation in general. I liked the movement from Solo and the Queen of Pain, but they didn't have the follow-through, and that obviously was a very limiting factor for them in this engagement. But their momentum isn't entirely lost. They just need to get it back up, because Anti-Mage, although he isn't farming hard at only 51 CS, he's killing hard with 6, 2, and 3. So he's been active in engagements. That's where the Treads and Poor Man's Shield have kind of been making their money's worth here, but he will find his Battle Fury, and then he will switch from a little bit of like skirmish mode into farming mode and just kind of going to cleave down creeps, flash farm the lanes, and of course kill down the stack neutrals as well. So that's kind of a position they have to worry about. Fear does have that Chaos Bolt still, so it's going to be difficult for RoX.KIS to contest the Anti-Mage in the jungle if they can see him coming.
RoX.KIS is severely lacking on vision now. Really, at this point with CK Wisp, you want to have observer wards maybe on where we see the sentry up here, and just more offensive wards, because that's what you need to do. And we see Beatas taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, they're actually going to be able to commit the ultimate to Beatas to bring him down, but Solo will trade his life in turn. so they're going to have a quick pause coming out. But yeah, unfortunately, they jumped on in. They dropped on Beatus, committing the ultimate, but he was in by himself. And along with that, the Clockwork, the Batrider, they have so many different ways that they can just counter-initiate on in. So going into this position here, it would have been suicidal for the remainder of the RoX.KIS crew, and I'm not exactly sure what Solo was thinking, other than the fact that he appears to be under the influence of some latency.
And Clockwork could have mech Beatus, but I'm not sure if he was close enough. But regardless, Fear having this level 4 chaos
going in, that tactical pause coming on through. Bambo able to connect with a hook shot, gonna get the ultimate. This is Mana Void to bring down the Ancient Apparition, but now a beautiful wall of replica, beautiful vacuum, and that just combo, sending it the other way so that they do lose 3 heroes in total. First Beatus, of course, before the pause, 2 heroes after, and only getting the AA here.
Oof. Yeah, really needing vision up this hill, but they need to set more offensive orders. They had this one, I think that's why Solo went in, but just, yeah. Well, nice connection on the Ice Blast there. Ice Blast, Vacuum, Wall just really turned the team fight around for them. Solo did have to buy back, but they will get another T1 out of it. Very important for them to limit the space that EG can farm, whether it be by taking down towers, whether it be by continuing to play aggressively, or setting up wards. That's exactly what they need to do, because they cannot let AM get that Battle Fury Manta and just continue to own them.
Relocate probably going to be wasted here. Going off the grid, the Batrider is going on through the cliffs, was able to blink Firefly away, and he's going to be perfectly fine. So a big commitment from Yol, and not going to get anything out of it here. But yeah, no, in this position, one thing I'm worried about is Evil Geniuses not having a pipe anytime soon. They have the mechanism, yes, but the Ice Blast nullifies healing, so if they don't time it right, it's not going to help them too much. They're going to try to go onto Solo, but I don't think they can connect unless they have the vision. They do get the Rocket Flare. They're going to go in. Lasso will connect onto Solo, charging up the Illuminate. All the nukes coming on through, and that should be the kill here. Solo not going to survive. Now the Ice Blast just throwing some harassment, but on Bambo alone.
Yeah, so he's going to be a very long way away from his Orchid. He died that one time middle, he bought back, and now he's died again. That's just really setting him back. Looking at Treads, Oblivion Staff, and a bottle, and really just not too much in the way of items for him. 22 minutes, and really not too much in the way of items for anybody this game.
I mean, BZZ is like 950 away from his armlet, and he already has the drum tread, so he's not that bad off. But as a whole, the only one who seems to be doing well right now is the Darkseer, who seems to be rushing up a Scythe of Ice.
We see a smoke, but they had an Observer Ward over here in middle, so I think that EG spotted out and will be able to react accordingly. All of them are backing right now and just leaving this T1 just being besieged by creeps right now.
Yeah, exactly. They do have the opportunity to take that same smoke and move it in towards the jungle. Jo on pretty low life here, but he should know he's going to get mech'd up, so he probably will stay. And actually, Salve, they really know the aggression's coming out, but there's that, barely blinking out of what would have been a reality tether, but the timing of the positioning of the tether itself didn't work out. Instead, the Lasso comes in on Dread. Can they bring him down before the mechanism? No, he keeps himself alive, and now Jo's taking a lot of hits. Big Sonic Wave coming on through. Huge Illuminate, though, going the other way. Now the Blinding Light comes across. 4 seconds stun on Bambo, but neither one wants to dive and go up against the enemy when there's such low life. There's just too much chaos in the mix right now, and they just cannot actually go in for a full engagement.
Yeah, really unlucky for them. They got the Reality Rift on the anti-mage, and that was able to connect, but the tether didn't stun right after, which is very unusual. Usually, as soon as you Reality Rift, you get tether stun into a 2 to 4 second Chaos Not stun, and that will spell your doom, but a lot of people managing to avoid that. Jo just barely escaping, and he was almost able to kill the Darkseer before he pulled off his combo, but again, I think someone just pulled him back in with the CK, and unable for him to connect that Mana Void. Looks like a lot of people will escape just by the hair of their chinny chin chin.
Indeed, indeed. So Force Staff will come up for the Batrider actually pretty much now. Like, he has the components, he's buying it immediately, and that's going to increase their potential to initiate severely. I mean, yes, the IO will always be able to tether to that target, so you can kind of counterstun on the Batrider, but the fact that he gets 600 extra movement to pull in any member of RoX.KIS that he may choose, yeah, they didn't bring down Dread this time around, but I'm not sure that will be the case if they do it again, because I would say almost half the lasso was just him pulling him into the tower, into his allies. If the Force Staff was in play, they probably could have dropped Dread with that anti-mage combo as you were talking about. So that would be a big factor. If they can prevent the Wall of Replica Vacuum and the mechanism all in one fell swoop, they're going to be able to just completely turn this team fight around and make sure that they're on top of the engagement, which is not where RoX.KIS want to be. They need the kills, they need the momentum, and right now EG is leading them by 3.
And Jo does have his Battle Fury completed, but it looks like Yol almost has his Black King bar, so we might see a big yellow wisp, and I don't think I've ever seen that item complete on him, but he does have a Black King bar in his stash. In terms of XP gold, just 1,000 in favor of EG, and gold earned around 4,000 in favor of RoX.KIS, and that is mostly just to do with the tower count. 3 towers down, 3 T1 towers down for the Radiant, and EG has taken none down so far, but it looks like they will be taking down their first very shortly. Glyph still 2 minutes 15 seconds on cooldown.
Do you have any thoughts about that BKB Wisp? Like, what? I mean, half the stuff goes through it. The clockwork, the Bat Rider, that stuff won't matter. I honestly don't understand this Black King Bar pickup whatsoever. Denali coming out from the Darkseer. There's going to be engagement. They're going to pick off Solo here. Nice Ice Blast going across. Not hitting on enough, though. Solo will be able to survive to commit the ultimate, but just trying to blink away. Big vacuum. Pulling everybody in here. Big play by Rubik. But they're not going to be able to follow it up just yet. They don't really have the AoE. They're just going to try to avoid things for the moment. Blink Dagger picked up by Rubik. Immediately blinks out. Good movement there. Dread taking a lot of hits from Jail. Flame Break will go across. There's the Mana Void to finish it off. And now looking for Von Score. He's just discoing out in the trees. I don't even know, but I think he had auto attack on and kept on hitting the cogs unintentionally. Either way, he does get dropped down and turning around the other way, so good movement there. I love the vacuum by Rubik, pulling half of them further away so they couldn't pursue as rapidly, and of course bunching them up so they were very cautious about how they moved in from there.
Yeah, I think it was a good choice for Wisp to bring this CK back with them, because that vacuum just completely changed the team fight, and they were in a just fighting for their lives from that point. And I think CK probably would have died had he stuck around. But it looks like this will be a second tower for EG.
Good Ice Blast come through. They might try to get to the 9 note. This time it's going to be locked down by the Bat Rider here. Now it's 2 seconds to come around Bambo. He should fall, but he has that mech. Ice Blast has to wear off, though. Waiting a few seconds. He does get the mech after it does. Good timing there. They're still all alive. And Darkseer's not involved. They're actually going on BZZ, and with his low HP, there's nothing they could do. Actually could almost go for Yol here. They're going to go in. They get the Flame Break and the right click connecting here, and oh my goodness, Bambo with the massively long-range hook shot coming on through. They do lock down a 3rd kill. Now going in on this tower. They don't have the wall. They don't have the Sonic Wave. And it's going to be really difficult to hold this here. I mean, it's only going to drop down to below half HP, and they have to fall back due to the creep waves. But they're actually going in here for a stun on Solo. A lot of damage. There's the Mana Void to finish it off here. They tried to mech him. Darkseer tried to help out there, but just a moment too late, and instead, he does indeed fall. And Anti-Mage, I'm not sure, bouncing around. Here's the Ice Blast to come across. But it looks like Bambo's the only one. He barely gets his mechanism off beforehand. So now going for the right clicks on the tower. They don't even need the creeps. Just taking it down and will fall back from here.
I must say that Fear is playing like a complete beast on this support Rubik. Oh, we see the TP interrupted on Beatus.
Yeah, it's dangerous. The drone will come on through. That should connect onto Beatus, so they will get the Keeper Light in exchange, but that's a tier 3. That's so many deaths that they've received that it really doesn't feel like a big difference. But if they get the real K-Kink off, it might mean something. Unfortunately, Yol misses the mark a little bit. That Bat Rider too quick on his feet with the blink, and yeah, the Force as well. There's no way they can close the distance.
Yeah, and again, back to what I was saying earlier, Rubik just playing out of his mind right now. 4, 1, and 12. So only dying once versus a CK Wisp, especially starting off in the defensive triple lane versus him. I think that's just very good play. And he's been picking up some huge spell steals. He's been picking up, he has Vacuum in his arsenal right now. He also stole Chaos Bolt multiple times, and he's just been doing very nice as initiates, especially with his early Blink Dagger pickup. So, I mean, he's just really stacked as a support. Arcane Boots, Blink, and Bracer. You rarely see these kind of items on a support, especially with the CK Wisp in the game. So, him playing very defensively, smart, careful, and calculated, always being with his team.
Now pick off on towards Solo down bottom. Just got caught by himself. I presume a smoke was in play, but really them just jumping on in and getting the lasso off was all they needed to secure that kill. And now I'm kind of looking at the item progression a little bit. Of course, there is going to be the gold advantage going the way of Evil Geniuses. A tower as well as a number of great team fights sets it up so Anti-Mage can take his Manta style. He's going to be in a great position there, but we also see Darkseer picking up his Scythe. Seemed rather ambitious to have gone for it at this stage, only having boots and mechanism, but goes for it nonetheless, and he should have it in just a few hundred gold. So, how do you feel this will play in? The BKB on the Wisp, the Scythe of Ice on the Darkseer. Do you think that can pull RoX.KIS into a better fight engagement?
I think it does, especially with the lack of items on Queen of Pain. That's what's really hurting them right now. As their solo mid, you usually want to have more items compared to this Demon, who has Boots of Travel, Force Staff, and Blink Dagger. Their solo mid is just extremely poor. Still only 1 Oblivion Staff completed, so that buyback into the early death just really hurting her and crippling her. Usually if you can get that Orchid up before Jo gets his Manta, then that'll be a big win for your team, and you can just consistently apply pressure and keep him from getting that Manta, or at least delay it for another 5 to 10 minutes. But him not having any items or even a Lincoln's versus the Blink Telekinesis or the Blink Lasso from Demon is just really hurting their team right now, and they really need items on their other heroes to pick up solo slack.
Yeah, exactly. Just really, really unfortunate for everybody involved. And, of course, the Chaos Knight hasn't found any items in quite some time. Either coming out on the Courier is going to be a simple Ogre Club, but 10 strength probably won't be changing anything as far as these fights come on through. And now they just pushes 5. They know, okay, we'll get Relocate ganked if we split up. We're not going to need to go for Roche here. Just popping off the Manta style early and going ahead to bring down this tower quickly. Fortification pop coming in from the flank from behind. Chaos Knight wants a piece of this action. Going to go on in. There's going to be the Realm Rift onto Demon, but Blink timing avoids the tether once again. And they are still in a good position. The Vacuum doing nothing here, and the Creeps are going to be able to bring down the tower shortly. 3 seconds stun on Demon. They're focusing down on top of the Rubik, but Fear's still alive. He is going to get stunned up by the Cold Feet, and the only one falling so far is the Ancient Apparition. Just Jo taking him down very, very quickly. Yol on low life. Neither one going in at the moment, though, and it looks like they're both going to fall back as far as I can tell.
Yeah, it looks like they're in a really good position to Roshan if they want to do it, just because there's no wall right now, and AA is down. They're in no position to defend it. I mean, they do have this T1 up in middle, but that is hardly going to stand in the way of EG just steamrolling this mid-game. Kill score was even at one point, and now EG has jumped to a pretty commanding lead, 24 kills to 15 for RoX.KIS, and look at the gold graph just completely tells a story. This advantage for RoX.KIS was before any of the towers were taken down, and now they've taken down 4 in rapid succession, and the gold difference has jumped to around 7,000 in favor of EG, and XP almost 8,000 again in favor of EG. And with this Roshan pickup, things are just looking more and more desperate for RoX.KIS.
Yeah, double damage helping out Jo a lot, the Manta not so much, but being able to bring down the Roshan very, very quickly is his main intention here, and now they will have the Aegis Immortal up and at him. What we do see also the Clockwork picking up his Pipe of Insight, actually using it there just to make sure there wasn't going to be any initiation, but the big thing is, yeah, they have this Pipe of Insight, which is far better than the mechanism when it comes to dealing with RoX.KIS' team. The main reason for that, I tried to mention it a little bit before, but it wasn't as relevant, is the fact that Von Score's Ice Blast does prevent mechanism from healing, so you have to heal it, use it before the Ice Blast connects, and sometimes that's not going to be the optimum timing. You're going to get like the 250 heal on 1 or 2 people, but not all 5, and so the Pipe of Insight is really going to be the better thing, where you can pop it before the Ice Blast to stop the damage, you can pop it after just to nullify any subsequent ones. It's just really, really important to have that available, and now that they have the Null Field as well, that means that because the absorption occurs post-mitigation, EG is going to be able to survive on through so much damage, including a rank 3 Queen of Pain ulti.
So in this position for RoX.KIS, you do not really want to be in this position. They are used to beating aggressor, especially just their team style in general, but with their hero lineup with CK Wisp, you really need to take advantage of being able to relocate ganks. And now that they have a gem pickup on it looks like Batrider, they're unable to get any vision out, and they're forced to play passively, which is not what you want to do. I mean, they need to try and gain some sort of map control, but I think they're a little bit too far behind right now to try and do some smokings. Just the relocate or the recall action from Beatus and the BOT from Demon can provide some really quick response, especially with this AM, who is very, very tanky right now. Battle Fury, Manta, Strange Treads, Aegis, and a Reaver in his inventory.
Yeah, so it's just going to cleave down the creeps with no real care as to what the enemy can throw at them, because there's really no gigantic concern that they can really make anything happen on top of them because so much HP. Now we do see a second deny come out. RoX.KIS has been pretty active on that. Queen of Pain on one, Darkseer on another, but it's not really halting EG. They're still getting the massive gold advantage, and I think RoX.KIS are scrambling right now. They do have the Orchid up on the Queen of Pain. They might be able to get that Black King Bar up on BZZ, but they're just in a really rough spot. So I think it's going to be on Dread to get a beautiful Wall of Replica Vacuum with a great Scythe of Ice and Mechanism. Just use every single skill and item in the book to make sure these team fights work for them, because he's pretty much the walking team fight, and if he's caught out, it feels like it's over.
Yeah, most definitely, and it looks like they may pressure this T3 after. I think they have the item advantage to do so at this point, but again, pushing up this T3, one of the most difficult things in the game, and if you line up for a Vacuum Wall, Ice Path, Screen of Pain, or Ice Blast,
I was wondering.
not Ice Path, Scream of Pain, and into a Sonic Wave, that could just be doom for your whole entire team. It looks like EG will choose to play it safe. There's no Roshan to take out anymore, no T1 or T2, so looks like they will just be playing a far game, most likely until Anti-Mage gets his heart, and they can either choose to push in that very small window before the Aegis expires, or pretty much just play passively and farm the whole entire map until the second Roshan expires. So I expect a passive passive move from EG in the next couple minutes, it's really on them. They don't have to make the move. They have complete map control right now. They can just smoke gank any of their squishy heroes, and RoX.KIS is just forced into just really defensive position, always just sticking together, almost 5 of them all in the same screen, and they really just can't split up right now.
Yeah.
EG is much too strong for them.
Actually, don't think that EG has all that much map control. I mean, they have some good wards outside the base, and if they farm the Ancients, they're completely screwed. But as far as their own jungle and their bottom lane, honestly, EG would be going in blind without the Firefly, and it is nighttime, so that's less effective. So I do agree that any fight on open ground, EG is going to be able to take, but as far as vision goes, we do actually see some pretty good wards available for RoX.KIS, and it's going to take a 5-man smoke to actually go for a pickoff.
Yeah, it looks like, I mean, they're trying to bait Bambo out and just trying to play passively behind them. But again, RoX.KIS is in no position to be the aggressor right now. Just really need maybe BKB up on Chaos Knight, maybe BKB up on the EO too, to try and take a team fight.
So in this position, they have some good items. They're getting even better ones with BKB almost on CK. He's still working on it. But really, what's going to have to give? Is there going to have to be a misplay by EG? Are they going to have to misstep? Or what is going to make it so that RoX.KIS can actually pull this out?
I think either just really, really good execution, vacuum, wall, ice blast, sonic wave into like a 3 or 4 people on the side of EG, including the anti-mage, or again, just a big misstep by EG, separating, maybe getting picked off by Wisp unnecessarily, but it looks like they will be pressuring the
Yeah, Relocate will come on in, so we're going to see the fight break on out. There's a big vacuum coming in. Sonic Wave will connect on a lot here. They pop off the pipe, though. The Ice Blast not doing enough. BZZ dropping quickly. They're forcing the buybacks of the Darkseer. He's going to come back on in, but a 4-second stun on Solo. Nets another kill. Double kill Godlike for Jo, and he's taking down the Raxier very, very easily. Oh, that was just not what they needed. Unfortunately, they already lost to Tier 3 earlier in the game, so that opportunity for the perfect wombo combo, the perfect pull-in with all these ultimates, not so opportune. They go on in, and they get a 3-man vacuum, but because they couldn't pull everybody on into it, they couldn't get all those disables, it was a slaughter. It wasn't a team fight, and so, of course, they just run rampant, take down enough heroes, pop enough buybacks to finish out the racks comfortably, and, of course, good game has been called.
Yep, so 36 minutes in, looks like EG on top with 28 kills, now 29 versus RoX.KIS' 16, and we see Wisp pick up, but again, Wisp offensive triple lane usually does not work out. You may be able to get 1 or 2 kills, but CK didn't really have that item impact, and being unable to creep pull in the safe lane just really hurts your support, and getting that really late level 6 on Ancient Apparition, as well as a late level 6 from the Wisp, just really hurts them. Compare that to really early level 6 from Fear, again, who I thought played very well this game. And AM had a really late Battle Fury, 21 to 22 minutes, I believe, but able to get right back in the game after the nice rotation and movement from their solo heroes.
Exactly. So Vanskor trying to do what he can, but not really going to matter too much. I believe BDiz will stay on in until he disconnects on out. But yeah, I really think that the usage of the Wisp in this situation isn't the Wisp that you see banned almost like every single game. It isn't the Wisp that you're really, really concerned about in a game that just gets so aggressive, so dicey really, really quickly. They've drafted well against it. Evil Geniuses had the blink on the Anti-Mage, early blink on the Bat Rider, and of course the Clockwork has his own ways to maneuver in and out. So I kind of feel that first of all, they were able to respond, only the supports could get picked off anyways. Along with that, Evil Geniuses had ward coverage, so that they didn't have to worry about a good observer placement from RoX.KIS picking off the support in the jungle or something like that. And on top of that, they had a good 5-man Dota team, and they shut down the tri-lane early. So IO's ultimate being delayed, IO's ultimate being ineffective, makes that pick not worthy of the prestige of a first pick that they actually provided it to.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree with you there. And giving away Kira Light and a Bat for a Wisp in that situation is just not worth it. So hopefully we see exciting game 2. So that will conclude game 1 for RoX.KIS versus EG. EG taking home 1-0.